76ers, Logan, bro, they have a little nightmare going on with Paul George. He hyperextended his knee last night against the Atlanta Hawks, which they won, by the way. I think it was by like 8 points. But just with that knee injury, man, that's like a little suspect, man. How you feeling about him getting injured in a preseason game before the season even starts?
I mean, it's never ideal, right? They're the Eagles. Well, they do too, but the Sixers don't really have a great injury history, especially in the last decade or so. So it's definitely was a little worrisome. But Nick Nurse just came out today actually and said it was just a hyperextension. They're not too concerned about it. He should probably sit the rest of the preseason. I know there's not a lot left, but I don't even really understand why they get run every single day in practice. And we all know how the NBA is. I mean, everybody sits whenever they want. But yeah, it was a little scary at first. He's 240 odd $1 million man coming in, and everybody can slow the brakes on the big injury though. Luckily, and they should be all right.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Nick, you think it was just a little minor injury or you think it was more than that?
As of right now, I think it's minor, but it just shows you of what's to come. Because you got Joel Embiid and PG on the same team. Is it really that much different than the Clippers? With Kawhi and PG always getting hurt? I don't know. I want to see them both be on the court and play at a crazy high level because we both know, or we all know that they can do that. They both can play at a high level on the court if they stay on the court, especially with Maxey running the show. Oh my goodness. If they all could play, it'd be great. But the injury history, it's scary. It's scary. It's hard to put all your chips on that. It's hard.
Yeah,
It's
facts,
difficult.
facts. And you brought up a great point on how their season would end up going on. But Justin, you think that this would derail their season a little bit if PG goes down, or you think they'll still try to make the playoffs with Maxi and Embiid? Obviously, if they're healthy.
I don't think they would still make the playoffs, but as me and Logan both know, Logan especially being a Joel Embiid defender, it's getting harder and harder out here to keep defending him when he's not healthy. When it's time to be healthy, April through June. So I mean, I think PG will be cool. I think the Sixers will be a real good regular season team per usual. And I think Maxi even takes another step. But can PG and Embiid be healthy come April? I'll probably put my money on no, sadly.
Well,
We'll
and
take
that's
the under on that for sure.
yeah, and that's the thing too, though, with Embiid coming out too recently and saying I don't think I'll ever be able to play back to backs again anymore and things of that nature. Like stuff like that comes out, and especially by your star players, you're not too thrilled with it. It's not something you enjoy to hear, but at the same time too, it's like look, like if they can just find a way, like you just said, Justin, if they could just find a way to get all three of them to stay healthy just when you need them. Like again, they're a great regular season team. Honestly, if you just let Maxi play with the roster that they have around him without those two guys, I still think they would sneak in as a 7 or 8. So you just need these two guys to be healthy when it matters, and by all like by all means necessary. Like you have to just make sure that Embiid especially, but Paul George too. That they're both aging guys. If they're both healthy when it matters, that's when they can play their best ball and be at their best. They're gonna be a problem. It's just it's easy to see it, but at the same time, you guys like Nick especially, you guys hit it on the head. Like if they play a lot in the regular season and they're torn up and gassed by the time the playoffs show up, every other star player, especially in the East, they're usually there, and they saw it in New York last year. So
I think
Yeah.
even if you look at like the Sixers in recent history, like when they traded Jimmy Butler for to keep Tobias, like Paul George gives them an element they really haven't had in a while. That wing scorer, really a wing scorer and defender. So if Paul can just be there and be healthy, and like I said, I expect Maxi to take another leap from where he was at last year.
I
This
agree.
really this can be a conference finals team. It really can be a finals team, but to everyone's point, we said the same shit. They just got to stay healthy when it comes to playoff time.
Yeah, it's talent. Talent's not the issue. And we all know that talent is not the issue. It's about them staying on the court. I think as long as one of the two is on the court for most of the season, they're gonna make the playoffs. They'll at least make the play in. I mean, Tyrese is too talented, and
Yeah.
obviously PG and Joel are way too talented to not make the playoffs, but they got to stay on that court. They got
Well,
to.
I
Best
think-
ability is availability.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, 100%. And I think this is probably one of their best, at least Embiid, this is probably his best surrounding cast he's had in his
Oh, yeah.
career.
Definitely.
I mean, the
Yeah.
guy's coming
Kelly
off the
Oubre
bench.
off
Yeah.
like what, $1 deal?
Yeah.
Like
Caleb Martin coming in for
Doritos is,
relatively cheap. I mean,
Arizona.
Kyle Lowry coming back. Reggie Jackson's
Mhm.
stashed
Jackson
back
was a
there.
that's
Yeah.
a nice
Eric
backup
Gordon's
point
stashed
guard right
back
there. Mhm.
Well,
Andre
well,
Drummond's back. They have a
you
great
just said
surrounding
that, Daniel.
cast.
I can't. You're not done. You're not done. Thank God they got rid of Glenn Anton Rivers.
Oh well, yeah. I mean, Nick Nurse actually calls plays.
Glenn Anton.
Uh,
If you can't tell.
Yeah, I mean Doc was something else, man. I'll tell you what. I like the kid from the French national team too. Or not a kid, I guess. He's been around, but they have a great surrounding cast. Again, and I really do think Tyrese Maxey is going to be one of the best point guards in the league by the end of this year. I mean, that
Definitely
could be a homer statement, but I've seen enough from him
top
to
5 in the East for sure.
Yeah, I've
bro.
seen enough from him to, realize, okay, like he's a superstar. So when you have 3 perennial superstars on your team, it's all about health. It always has been. And I mean,
Mhm.
you look at LA and how it's kind of deteriorate the Clippers, I should say. You can see how it's deteriorate. Even the Lakers, though, like LeBron's aging, and Anthony Davis isn't as good of a player as he once was. So you need it. You need superstars that are healthy. And
Mhm.
Boston's had it the last couple of years. That's why they're always there and have been winning.
Mhm.
I mean, so that's what you need. The NBA is such a star power league. If
Oh,
you
yeah.
don't got it, you you got nothing.
Facts. But my thing, like with the Sixers themselves, right? They have a star-studded team, like you're saying, and if they could stay together and be healthy in the playoffs, I think they could make a run at anybody, at the Bucks, at the Celtics, at the Heat, at the Cleveland Cavaliers, at whoever comes in their way. I think they can actually go toe-to-toe and win 7-game series around them and actually get to the NBA Finals finally under Joel Embiid, right? But just taking with the PG situation, like there are some players that are just super injury prone and some players that are not, and they get so lucky and healthy that they could play for a lifetime. And I just feel like PG's already coming to that age, that limit for him in playing basketball, professional basketball against these top athletes, fast, super skilled, jumped high as hell, and he's trying to stay with them, stay in the same path as them, and stay in pace as them. And to me, man, it just feels like he needs to call it quits, man. Like too many big time injuries that are happening to him, and you got to think about the future you have with your kids, with your family. If you want to walk, you want to continue to do stuff with them and be active. Like if you're gonna keep going down this road of still trying to play at a professional high level, and you keep getting these major injuries because there haven't been minor for him, they've been major injuries, dude. It's just gonna come down to at the end of the day. Do I want to be able to walk in the future, or am I just going to try and keep pushing my limits to try to get an NBA chip or keep playing the game that I love? So it's like, to me, man, it's tough, bro. I just feel like at some point you got to say, I can't.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, that and that.
Yeah,
The-
for sure. But
the
he
Meg-
got all the
the
money.
Meg-
He got all
he
the
does.
money,
He
bro.
does have all
It's
the
the
money.
ring,
but
bro. It's the ring, and he wants to continue to play. I feel that, bro. Me,
Yeah,
I can't stop
think,
playing
yeah, he's
sports.
just
It's
in
so hard to
love.
give up, bro.
dude.
Especially guys that played at such a high level like that.
I
Like
know, man.
even with D Rose just retiring, it's like you
Oh,
think
man.
about it. You think about it a lot, and you're like, dang,
That
like,
hurt.
Yep.
yeah, like
Yep.
That hurt.
he
Oh,
probably
yeah, bro.
he
Nah,
probably
for real.
he probably could have kept going, but at the end of the day, like he's at the age too where like you just got to think about that type of thing. So
Yeah,
yeah,
bro.
I agree.